Okay, fourth grade, we did our background last week. We are going to be completing this project by adding our details this week, and we will be done with our beautiful cactus sunset. So last week, if you remember correctly, we actually put in some really pretty clouds in the background. So we're going to actually start out with that. We're going to actually add some highlights on the bottoms of the clouds, because if you notice, the sun is going down here, right? So all of the light is going to be reflecting on the bottoms of the clouds. And you're actually going to have some really pretty, whatever the sunset colors are, you would actually have those colors reflecting in the clouds. You just want to make sure that the darker colors, like the reds and the oranges, would be up more towards the top. And the brightest places, the yellow, are going to be on the bottoms of the clouds. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a yellow, and I really like to use this chalk on its side. I don't know, I just find that I like that technique a lot better. So what you're going to do is you're just going to come to the bottom of the cloud, and you're just going to scoot a little bit of chalk right here at the bottom of the cloud. Okay, and I'm going to do this with all my clouds, just a little bit. You don't want too much. I'm just going to put a little bit of this bright. Now the clouds up here are probably going to have more of darker, like your reds and your oranges, and those. Your ones down closer to the sun are going to be more of your brighter ones. And what you're going to do, maybe I want to add a little bit of red up in these clouds up here. Maybe I want to put a little bit of red. Especially those of you that actually had way too dark of clouds, you might want to go ahead and add some red. Maybe I want some red in this one, and some orange. Maybe I want to add a little bit of orange as well. I'm just going to lay in a couple of orange. Okay, now the fun part. You're going to take your tissue, you're going to wrap it around your finger after you lay down a little bit of that chalk. Right now it looks messy, right? Look how beautiful this is. You're just going to blend that under your cloud, and look how pretty that is. You're just going to blend that out. Now you've got some really pretty highlights up under the clouds. Some pretty highlights. There we go. All right, and I like that. That looks really realistic. You just kind of randomly put that chalk on there, and you've got some really pretty highlighted clouds. I've now turned those little plain blue little scrubs on my paper into beautiful clouds. All right, so I'm not done. Now I'm going to put in this. You remember I told you that little background right there would actually appear brighter, right? The sun's coming down, so it's not really silhouetted as much as it is. It's just going to kind of blend in with the background, the sky, and it's going to appear lighter. So we're actually going to do brown and yellow to create that look. So what I want you to do is, however you want your background, you might want your background straight across. That's okay. Maybe I want a dip here and here. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and blend that. If you want to use your tissue, you can do that. Go ahead and blend in that brown. I just want a hint of brown. I don't want to fill it in with brown. I just want a little hint of brown. A little splash. Okay. So now I've got some brown. Now I want to add some highlights, because there's going to be some highlights. So again, just like the clouds, I'm just going to scoot a little bit of yellow on here, and I'm going to blend it out. Again, I'm not taking my chalk and putting a lot. It does not take a whole lot of chalk. And I'm going to blend in that yellow. And I'm going to fill in all this white. I don't want any white. Fill that in. Maybe I want to add some more highlights. And actually, all in this background, you could actually add a little bit of orange, a little bit of red. All of the sunset colors would be reflecting on this land. I think I'm just going to add the yellow. I like that. Okay. If you want to add in a little more shadow, maybe I want a little bit darker brown in a couple of these places, you can do that. Maybe I want it a little bit darker in some of these areas, just to add, see how I add some shadows now and it looks like the land, it's not perfectly smooth. Now I know there's going to be a dark shadow in between here. If you have some type of a hill where two pieces of land meet, it's going to be a little bit darker there because you're going to have like it's going to be a fold, right? So where those two meet, you're going to have a darker shadow. So you probably want to really make sure it's dark in between where your two little pieces of land meet. All right, and I like that. And you know what? I could even do a really small piece of land right back here, but a lot of light's going to be hitting back here. So if you do one in the very back, like this, you want it to be super duper bright. Okay, so you don't have to add that part. I'm just showing you how you can add some dimension and add a bigger background. All right, so I'm done with that. I'm done with my clouds. Now I'm going to add my sun. Now you can either have an orange, you can put it wherever you want. If it's red, if I have a red sun, I'm going to put it more up here. Yellow, you could even do a white. If you wanted to do a white down here, you could do a white, orange. This is totally up to you. It's your picture. I think I want to do an orange sun, and you can have it go however you want. If you want it to go like it's going under the over the hill, you can do that, like this. You could do this. But you're still going to do the blending technique. Okay, you're going to do your little, you got your little, and you can either use your tissue or you can use your finger. And you're going to do like this little circle here. You can either have your sun do that. If you do this though, you want to kind of get it as perfect as you can. The sun is a perfect circle, so, or it appears to be a perfect circle. Or you could do one of your little round suns. Now I'm going to do this just because this is an example. Or you could do one of your round here up in the sky. Totally up to you. You can put your sun wherever you want it. You can have either one. Now right now this is not Earth, right? This has two suns, so we're not on Earth. Your picture, we're going to be on Earth. Okay, one sun. Pick one sun. All right, we are done with chalk. We are now ready to add our foreground silhouettes of cactus. And then the very last thing we'll do is we'll just add some little grass, some little silhouettes of some weeds or grass right there. All right, remember when we did our little study of cactus, remember the little arms didn't really go above the head. So when we do this, first we want to do our stem. And first of all, we need to think about where do we want it? Do I want one in the center? Do you want one great big one in the center? You could do that. Or do you want two? No more than two. We don't want more than two cactus. But if I want one great big one in the center, I can do that too. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to just put one big one in the center. Right here on this black foreground, I'm just going to, remember it's a big oval. And I'm going to just make it as tall as I want it. So maybe I want it this tall. Now I'm going to do those arms. And remember the arms are never directly across from each other. So maybe I want one arm here. Or again, I'm not going to go past that little, I'm not going to go past the stem. This one I'm going to do here. They are kind of roundy on the end. You want to make sure you don't want to do that. You don't want to leave any paint, any blank in there. All right. And then I want to balance this out some. I think I want to add one here. And I like that. I think I want it just like that. All right. Now, this is very important. If you decide to do little pricklies, little silhouetted pricklies, in real life, you're not going to see a whole lot of those pricklies. They're actually going to blend in with the rest of the silhouette. Only a very few little pricklies are going to show. So if you're going to do that, you want to make sure that your paintbrush You want to kind of load it up. You want it nice and pointy. And you're just going to barely, randomly, do you see how I'm gently pressing? I am barely touching that brush. These are itty bitty, tiny. And I'm kind of slanting them up, but you kind of want them to go in different directions. Just randomly putting. Now you do not have to do this part. But if you do this, do you see how I am barely putting little pricklies? You would actually not see very many of these in real life. And that's good. I don't want to overdo it. So that's all the little tiny pricklies that I need. If you want to add another little, it's up to you. Maybe I want another little cactus here. Maybe I want to put one here. Again, I'm barely taking my little paintbrush, putting just a few little pricklies on there. I'm telling you, if you do too many pricklies, you're gonna mess up. If I were you, if I did too many pricklies, you might want to make the little arms bigger and just be done with it and don't even have pricklies. That's a good way to get rid of them, is just make the arms bigger. Okay, maybe I want a couple coming off the side here. Very random. Very random. And when you're done, let's do our little grass. So what you're going to do is you're just going to kind of make it uneven. You don't want it all perfectly straight here. And I'm just taking my brush and I'm just adding just make it a little bit curvy up here. Just kind of scooting my brush just to make it look like there's some grass. It's a little bumpity. It's not perfectly smooth. I want some little there, because we don't really know what that is. It's a silhouette. We can't tell what that is. We just know that it's a silhouette of some type of something that grows on the ground, right? You want it uneven. You don't want it perfectly straight across. That's important too. You want to make sure that you've got them at different lengths. Nature's very random. You're never going to look out there and see something perfectly straight across. That would look weird. It would be very weird. All right, so you should have something that looks about like this when you are done. We have completed our background. We have our sun. We did our highlights on our clouds. And we did our cactus silhouettes. When you're done, you may put your brushes in the sink and get a wipe and clean your tables and put these on the drying rack. Have fun.